And just being aware overall of how your body is feeling right now. Let's take our hands and bring them behind our back with the arms nice and straight and strong. Shoulder blades together, shoulders down and away from your ears. Arms extended, and be aware of how that feels in your body across your chest, opening up the chest and feeling the strength in your arms, the stretch in your arms. Then taking those clasped hands and bringing them over to your right hip. And then taking the right ear and bringing it down towards the right shoulder. Breathing into the stretch in the left side of your neck. And seeing how your body feels here. If the stretch is feeling nice and you want a little more, then just encouraging things over to the right a little bit. And if it's a little too much, you can always ease back off. Being mindful also of how your left shoulder blade feels, shoulder area, and being aware of your sitting bones, connecting with the earth, making you feel grounded. And then taking your arms, extending them straight behind you, just for a beat. And then bringing hands over to the left hip and gently encouraging your left ear to left shoulder. And breathing through that stretch. Seeing if you feel any tension anywhere. I'm weirdly feeling some tension in my thigh area for some strange reasons. I'm going to try and soften up there a little if I can. Relax into the pose. Maybe you feel it somewhere else that you can breathe into and relax into. And does the left side feel different than the right side? Nothing to be concerned about, just something to notice. And then bringing the arms straight behind you. Let's take our hands and bring them to our knees or thighs and roll out the shoulders a little bit, bringing the shoulder blades forward, shoulders forward and up, and back and down. And thinking about your breathing as you're going through this circular motion with your shoulders. Just taking it slow, breathing in a way that feels natural for you, and being aware of what sensations you feel in the shoulders. There's surprisingly a lot that goes on and a lot that's active in this particular pose. And gently bringing that to a stop and rolling it in the other direction. And gently bringing that to a pause. And just taking a moment to see how things feel right now. Maybe things are a little looser in the shoulders than they were before. Taking then the right hand and bringing it up and placing right hand so just below where your neck area is between your shoulder blades, the top of in between your shoulder blades. And left hand comes behind and left fingertips start reaching towards right fingertips. And if you connect the two, that's great. And if you don't connect the two, that's okay as well. I think somebody else has joined the class. While you're in that pose, yes, there we go. Janet is here. Just enjoying how you feel and noticing how you feel in this pose. And then letting it go. Hello, Janet.
Hi.
And then taking your left hand and bringing left hand to upper mid shoulder blades, taking right hand and connecting left and right fingertips if you can, or bringing it as close to one another as you can, and seeing what's going on in your body here. Does it feel any different on this side than the other side? Are there things that are feeling tight? Are those feelings good? Hopefully they're good. If they're not feeling so good, then ease off a little bit, and that's important information too. And then bringing the hands back onto your thighs or your knees. Let's ground the sitting bones, elongating the spine. Inhaling through the nose and then exhaling over the legs. If you go onto your hands, if you go onto your forearms, if you go a little lower, that's all good. And feeling how your body feels when you move into this relaxing pose. Making sure we breathe while we're here. Then leading with the heart and coming back up to a seat. Let's take the right hand behind us, just diagonal to our hip. Take the left hand and bringing it on the above the knee area of your right thigh, elongating through the spine and twisting to the right. Consciously bringing the right shoulder back, gazing over the right shoulder. Feeling the inhale and lengthening in your spine. And then exhaling and twisting just a little bit more. Enjoying the inhale and lengthening. Exhale and twist. If you're feeling any particular tension, just try to relax into that area. It's an active pose, but we shouldn't feel a lot of intense gripping in the pose. And then coming back to center. Checking out how the spine feels here. And then bringing the left hand diagonal behind our left hip, right hand to the lower part of the front left thigh. Lengthening through the spine on the inhale. Enjoying that lengthening feeling, growing taller in the spine, and then twisting to the left. Bringing that left shoulder back. Enjoying the inhale. And exhale, twisting to the left. And then coming back to center and just seeing how the body feels here. Let's move on to our tabletop position. Making sure we feel nice and stable. We feel our hands grounded underneath us. We feel our knees under our hips. And let's drop the belly and lift the heart and the tail for cow. Feeling the length of our spine in this pose and the opening across the chest and maybe a little bit of a stretch in the belly. And then we're going to shape up our cat a little bit. We're going to round the spine, but move back towards our heels and come onto our fingertips. Really feeling that stretch in the shoulders and strengthen the arms. Coming up, back into a cow. Feeling the hands pressed firmly into the mat. And slowly coming into the seated cat up on our fingertips. Noticing the stretch and the length in our body. And one more time, coming up to cow. And seated cat. I love the length in this particular variation. Feels good to stretch it out. Coming back up to tabletop. And now bringing the right foot in between the hands and coming up to crescent lunge. But instead of bringing the hands up like we often do, let's keep our hands on our front right thigh. You may want to check the stance a little bit. If you need to shift the right foot out towards the right just a little bit for more stability, you can. And once we feel stable and strong here, we can lift up the left foot and capture it with our left hand for a quad stretch. And this is a bit of a balanced pose and a stretch, 2-for-1 deal, no extra charge. And see how you feel in this particular pose. How is the front quad feeling? If it's feeling a little too intense, you can always lean your body back. If you would like a little more of a stretch, you can lean your body forward. You can also play with the foot, whether you bring it closer to your glutes or not. And gently lowering foot back down. Let's straighten the right leg. Come onto our fingertips, let our fingertips frame the calf. To a half Hanuman. Making sure that the hips are level and square to the front of the mat. And flexing the foot. And being again aware of how our body feels in this pose. So if you need to ease off by either lifting the knee up a little bit or easing off on the foot flex, you can totally do that. Or, go for the gusto a little bit more if that feels good to you today. And you can stay and focus on how you feel in this pose, if that's what's good for you today. Or if you'd like a little more, you can lengthen through the spine and leading with the heart coming back down over the leg. And if you decided to go over the leg, just being aware of how that feels too. And if it feels a little intense, which it might, being mindful of your breathing, almost imagining the breath going into the back of the leg. And then leading with our heart as we come up. Let's take that right leg and bring it right heel over to left side of mat for an IT band stretch, which offers a lot of fun sensation usually for most people. Making sure the hips are square to the front of the mat so they're not skewed one way or another as best you can. That the right leg is long and strong and foot is flexed towards the middle of the mat. And seeing how it feels for the IT band stretch to be doing its thing in this pose. And breathing into that sensation. And if you'd like to, you can stay here and focus on how you're feeling in this pose today. Or if you'd like a little more, it's lengthening through the spine and coming over that leg. See how you feel there. And leading with the heart coming back up and back to tabletop. Now doing the same on the other side, bringing the right foot, or pardon me, the left foot, the other right, the left, in between the hands. And checking out our stance and how we feel in the pose. Making sure we feel strong and stable, shifting the left foot a little wider if you need to. Being aware of how your spine feels. Your shoulder blades, are they relaxed? Resting your hands on your left thigh. And then when you feel stable, you can bring that right foot into the right hand for a quad stretch. And maybe noticing if one quad feels different than the other. Like maybe this one feels a little tighter or it feels a little not so tight. This one for me feels strangely a lot less tight. But you might be different. And play around with how you feel, like moving forward, moving back, as is challenging, sufficiently challenging for you. Focusing on your breath too as you're listening to how your quad is feeling. Gently letting that foot go and straightening the left leg, squaring the hips to the front of the mat, flexing the foot, and feeling how the back of the leg is feeling. And consciously trying to breathe into and relax into that feeling. And being aware of challenging ourselves to a greater or lesser degree as feels good. Then on the next inhale, let's lengthen the spine. And if you wish to, you can stay as you are, or you can exhale down over the leg. And just scanning your leg to see where you're feeling things today. And trying to relax and breathe into that feeling. See if you can soften it up a little bit. If you went over your leg, coming back up and taking that left heel over to the right edge of the mat with the toes pointing towards the center. Keeping the leg long and straight as is comfortable for you, toes actively flexed. Checking your hips and breathing into that feeling. And as you feel like you want to today, you can lengthen that spine on the inhale and relax over the leg on the exhale. And breathing into that stretch. And noticing how it feels different from being straight up to being over the leg. And leading with the heart and coming back up. And bringing your legs and body back into a tabletop position. Checking our alignment here, making sure we feel nice and strong and stable. I'm going to move up a little bit because I'm going to run out of space with this next pose. I know what's coming up next. With that, let's take the right toes and bring them behind us. So toes are flat on the mat and calf is nice and long, leg is nice and long, and leaning back into the foot for a calf stretch. So we've been working a bit on the legs in the past couple of poses and just, noticing the difference in how this pose feels versus others. One of the things I love about yoga is discovering, oh, geez, I'm not used to that feeling. That's interesting. I don't often feel a stretch in this particular area. It's good. Let's take the right toes and bring them into the left bottom corner of the mat. And then bringing left shoulder and left hip towards one another in a C shape, giving a nice stretch into our right thigh, hip area, hip more than thigh. Feeling that lovely stretch. Sometimes you'll get a bonus extra little pop. That's always fun. And coming back to tabletop. Doing the same on the other side. So extending those left leg and toes back, toes on the mat, pushing that heel back towards the back of the mat. If you want to pulse into it a little bit too, that's okay. I'm more of a, consistent kind of person, but some people like to pulse into a pose. That's cool too. And then taking that, those left toes over to the back right corner of the mat, making sure you feel nice and strong and stable in your abs and in your arms in their tabletop, and then bringing right shoulders and right hip towards one another in a C shape as you look towards your back left foot. Feeling that stretch in the hip. Maybe just appreciating the strength of your body in this pose. So that's a nice thing to appreciate as well. And coming back to tabletop. Let's come up to a kneeling pose and shift the weight just slightly to your right knee. Bringing the left foot out to the side so that the left foot is parallel to the edge of the left edge of the mat, and coming up to a half kneeling pose. Inhaling and bringing both arms up overhead and then tilting to the left. Resting left hand on left leg, but not on the knee. Being mindful and aware of rolling that right shoulder back. And almost imagining the energy going from right knee to up the body, around and out your fingertips as you lean to the left. Enjoying this stable, strong feeling of this pose, gate pose. Coming back to center into kneeling. Let's do the other side. So shifting our weight to the left, bringing the right leg out to the side, right foot parallel to edge of the mat. Inhaling the arms, feeling them nice and strong, coming up to the sky, and then tipping to the right. Resting right hand on right leg, and leaning to the right, energetic with the fingertips. Left fingertips up and over. Enjoying the breath as it flows in and out. Enjoying the stretch of the muscles. And coming back up. And I'm trying to debate what do I feel like doing right now. You know what? Let's do some sort of belly reclining poses. That'll be fun. Let's come on to our belly. And bring hands under shoulders, feeling the pelvis connecting with the mat, feet connecting, tops of feet connecting with the mat, legs nice and strong, feeling that stability in the lower part of your body in connection with the mat. And then bringing shoulder blades down, shoulders down and away from your ears, shoulder blades slightly together, and lifting up with the strength of your back into cobra. Gaze slightly at the top of your mat, not much further up. We don't want to strain the neck. And seeing how you feel. Maybe you feel your body going up and down with the breath, which is kind of fun. You're feeling the strength of your shoulder blades as they come together. Maybe you feel a pulse in your belly, a blood pressure pulse in your belly, or pulse in your belly. That's fun too. Things you notice when you're quiet and focused. And then gently lower down. Pushing up. Let's push up into a child's pose. So knees mat width apart, pushing back, sitting bones onto heels and arms extending forward. Straight and long and strong, fingertips spread, pointing towards the top of your mat. And enjoying the breath in this pose. In child's pose, you really feel the torso, the rib muscles, and everything expand and contract with the breath, which is lovely. Now coming up to tabletop one more time. Let's then bring our hands just a little bit forward. Take the right knee and bring right knee to right wrist. Consciously extending left leg long and strong behind you. Consciously settling into the middle of your hips. So rooting down more towards the middle of your pelvis versus tipping off to the right or the left. And extending your arms nice and long, fingertips into the mat, chest nice and broad. Enjoying pigeon pose. And maybe doing a quick scan of your body to see how it feels and if there's any tension. I'm feeling a little tension in my left front thigh. I'm going to try and relax into that a little bit. Maybe you feel it somewhere else and can relax there too. And breathe to help with that. And then leading with the heart, moving forward, either onto your hands a little further away, onto your forearms if that's accessible, or further down if you like. And seeing how that change of pose feels different. Where are you feeling that stretch now? And maybe what feels more relaxed now in this pose. Things have shifted a little bit. And then as you're ready, pushing back up into upright pigeon. And then let's just roll over onto our right thigh for a moment as we take the right shin bone and make it parallel to the front of the mat. You can then take the left thigh and make it parallel to the front of the mat, and the calf of the left leg parallel to at a 90-degree angle parallel to the side of the mat. Turning your torso so it's facing the front of the mat. And then leading with the heart, coming over the legs, either on your hands, on your forearms, or all the way down into deer pose. Noting where you feel a little more of the intense sensation, and see if you can find some softening here. Then coming back onto your hands and bringing the right leg straight and long, pointing towards the back of the mat, coming onto your belly, and leaving the left leg where it is, or playing with the left knee a little bit. You could either bring it up a little bit more towards the top of the mat, or if you'd like to bring it down a little more. Seeing what feels good for you in this half frog pose. I'm putting my hands underneath my head like a pillow and head tilted to the left. You'd almost think there's a wildlife theme to this class. We went from pigeons to deer to frogs. That's just because these are fun poses, that's all. And trying to relax our legs and body in frog pose. And then pushing up to tabletop. We'll now do the other side. So hands, walking them just a little bit forward, taking that left knee, bringing it close to the left wrist, taking the time to extend the right leg long and strong behind you, and then elongating through the torso, bringing the shoulder blades slightly down and together, opening up across the chest. Maybe you'll be onto your fingertips too, like I am. Inhaling into pigeon, feeling how this feels. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe it's a little easier or a little more challenging than the other side. Being mindful of elongating through the torso. We don't want to crumple in on our lower spine. Keep it nice and long. And then leading with the heart, coming down over the legs, either by resting on the hands, the forearms, or all the way down. And then noticing how that shift changes the way you feel. Seeing if you're able to soften a little bit more, come down a little bit more, if you need to back off, if you need to center your pelvis a little bit more. Taking the time to breathe and focus on enjoying the breathing. And maybe, depending on the time you spend in the pose, the way it feels can kind of change. Like for a moment, my left thigh near my glute felt a little more tight, and then all of a sudden it just sort of relaxed a little bit. Bodies are interesting. Pushing up onto the hands, back into upright pigeon. Let's roll over onto the left hip. Bring that left shin parallel to the front of the mat. Bring the right thigh parallel to the front of the mat. And the right calf parallel to the side of the mat, 90-degree angle. Lengthening up through the spine, feeling nice and broad across the chest. And leading with the heart coming over the legs to your level of comfort. Probably feeling a lovely stretch in your left outer thigh. And if it doesn't feel so lovely, then you want to back off the pose a little bit to a point where it does feel challenging but good. Now pushing back up and then bringing the left leg around and straighten along behind you, top of the foot onto the mat, keeping that right leg as it is out to the side and relaxing down, making a pillow with your hands. And you can either look to the right if it's comfy for you, or if you want to just have your forehead flat on the hands, that's okay too. Trying to relax your body in this pose and shifting knee up or down just for a little bit of extra challenge. Now coming back up, and let's move into a seat and then onto our back. With the knees pointing towards the sky. Let's extend the left leg so toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Bring the right leg in and hug it into our chest. Maybe do a little ankle roll while we're here with the right ankle. Breathing as we go. Relaxing our back into the mat. We don't need to be tense here. Just enjoying the sensation of your ankle moving around, the range of motion. Then bringing it the other direction. Keeping the breath flowing and slowly coming to a stop. And lowering the leg, lengthening it out with the right toes extended to the ceiling, bringing in the left leg. Nice hug into your body. And then rolling that ankle in one direction. Really being watchful and mindful of how it feels. Moving your ankle around like that. Maybe you hear some clicking. I hear some clicking. In the other direction. And slowly coming to a stop. Now taking both of the legs and hugging it in, let's rock back and forth just a little bit to give the lower back a bit of a massage. And then slowly coming to center and stop. Let's take the knees and gently bring them to the left. And either bring your arms to goalposts, straight out into a T, or if you want to have the right hand resting lightly on the left knees, you can do that. And take a moment to be mindful of how you feel in this pose. As much as I love to challenge myself and bring my knees up nice and close to my body, I have a very long torso. And things start to feel uncomfortable if they're too crumpled up in this position. So, putting my yoga ego aside and just paying attention to my body and how it feels. And I encourage you to do the same. Just feel how it feels good and ease into that. relaxing the back, relaxing the arms, bringing knees to center, and shifting knees to the other side, bringing them to the right. And how does that feel different or similar from the previous pose? My back feels a little bit more. How does it feel for you? And trying to soften here as we wind down in the practice. Bringing knees back to center. And coming up to a seated position. I'm going to grab my big clock, which helps me without my glasses to be able to see what time it is so I don't ridiculously go over time. We have a couple minutes to do legs up the wall, which I know is a favorite. And on a day like today, when it's so stinking hot, it's nice to end just in a nice relaxed pose. So I'll encourage you to find a spot near a baseboard. Bring your sitting bones close to the baseboard and on the lower part of the wall, and lower your body down. And then scooching your sitting bones closer to the baseboard, bringing your legs up the wall. Here, if you want, you can have one hand on belly, one hand on heart. You can do goalpost arms. You can do a T shape. I think I'll do goalpost arms today. And really just try to relax into this pose. This is a great pose to spend a few minutes being mindful of your body too, because it's not very often we have ourselves inverted. Not very often. And so seeing how that feels today. How do your feet feel? If you move down from your toes through your ankles, down your legs, into your sitting bones that are near the baseboard, how does everything feel? For me, my feet and ankles almost feel a little bit colder, which is welcome on a day like today. But likely because, the blood flow is moving away from the feet, and that makes them a little cooler feeling. Just enjoying how it feels to have the legs and the body relaxed. And now taking your feet and putting them on the wall and just walking them down. Let's move into Shavasana. So lowering the body onto the mat, legs nice and long, arms nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing the body into the mat. And then maybe in the short time we have left this evening, just doing a scan of your body and seeing, how does it feel now? Do you feel a little more relaxed? Sure hope so. Does your nervous system feel a little calmer? Are you a little bit proud of yourself for doing this for yourself today? Just making note of any changes or differences in how you feel. And with that, let's bring our feet to the mat. Rolling over to the side and pushing up into a seat.